Hi and welcome to my channel. Now today's video is about buying and touching a little bit on selling second-hand speakers on places like eBay, etc. Be it pick-up, collection only, or sending them through the post. Just my experiences really, and to say that there is some bargains to be had out there if you look around and willing maybe to go and pick stuff up rather than get it posted to you. But you know, there's still some bargains maybe even if they're going to get posted, but going to touch on maybe collection and maybe how well you should wrap these speakers up if you're selling them as well, and if you're buying, what are the pitfalls. Even if you're getting something cheap, you may still come out spending more money than you think. But like I say, a bit off the cuff, sorry about the background noise of the PC. I've got things happening all over the place at the moment. Only because I've done a video recently. These all speakers are out and about, so I thought while they're still out and I don't put them away somewhere in a cupboard or something like that, get them out of the way, that I'll have a little talk about. This one here I'm still doing up at the moment, still mucking around a little bit with a crossover. It's a little bit bright in the mid-range, but we'll come to that in another video. Yeah, so this is like just talking about, like I say, you going out buying. We'll touch on the buying first of all, buying second-hand speakers, and the bargains really I think is to be had. I've said it quite a few times, and I think Stereo Review X has also mentioned it quite a few times. Actually going travelling, how far of a distance you're willing to travel to go and pick up some speakers. You could probably pick up a bargain. I'm not saying I've got anything fantastically cheap here, but I did get a little bit of a reasonable bargain. But you know, even if you're going to go and pick up some second-hand speakers, you don't always get a bargain because it depends how much people want, how many people and how much people want in particular speakers, what kind of reputation they've got as well. If they've got a really strong reputation, even though if you're going to go and pick them up, you're probably not going to get that much of a bargain. You may do, you may get lucky, you may have a little rural area or somewhere like, you know, that kind of area, not many people want that speaker, but even if it's bid up, you may still have to pay a reasonable amount. But I'm just going to go through a few speakers that I've bought and give you the idea of what I paid and where, like I say, these larger speakers, people are not willing to post. You're going to go and pick them up and you will get maybe a bit more of a bargain. So what we're going to start off with is a very, very small speaker. This wasn't a bargain, but it's not a bad price. It wasn't a bargain because people are willing to post it. But I'm just digging one up here that I've done in that video. This is the Wolfdale Diamond 3. As you can see, it's quite a small, compact speaker. It still weighs a reasonable amount of weight to it. So if you've got two of them in a parcel, it's still going to be a reasonable amount of weight. You're going to pick up this for on eBay, collection, or you know, if you're going to post it or whatever, if someone's going to post it to you, probably for about 30 or 40 pounds. You maybe get lucky, get 30, 40 pound, maybe something like that. And it's quite a good little speaker for what it is. It's quite a decent little speaker. So when people are willing to go and post this to you, people are willing to post it because it's quite small. Still got to have a fair amount of packing on it. You know, you think you're just going to stick this in a cardboard box and that's going to be it? Well, you're going to be pretty lucky at the other end if you're going to get it in one piece. So bear that in mind if you're selling stuff. Don't just stick this in a cardboard box with hardly any packing around it, because the postman just sling it about. If it's not coming from somewhere like Amazon, where they've got their own couriers, and even they're not that, you know, gentle with stuff. But if you've just got a run-of-the-mill courier, they're just literally chucking parcels about. They haven't got time to pick up a box all nice and neat and put it down all nice and neat. Them days are gone, you know what I mean? Them days are gone. I remember my brother, just for an instance here, working at a railway station, just showing you how things have changed over the years. I'm kind of a bit off subject here, but I think quite a few people, like older people like myself, are going to kind of think, oh yeah, you know, this is true kind of thing. He worked at a railway station. He got a job as in a railway station, and when he first went there, he was told there was only 3 people there. There was only 3 of them there at the station, but he was told a good few years earlier this old boy was there. You know, he's been there for ages kind of thing, this old boy, coming up to retirement. And he said a good few years earlier, there were 13 people working at this railway station. And now there's 3. So obviously services, bits and pieces have been cut back, and more pressure has been put on them extra people. And this old boy left, then there was 2. Then another bloke left, he had enough, he couldn't handle it anymore, and it's just my brother. So it just shows you how it cut back, you know, they cut back to the bare knuckle. And what I'm saying is these delivery drivers now probably got 150 parcels to deliver. They're just slinging them off the lorry. Trust me, I've seen it with my own eyes. I had a fruit machine delivered once, and the geezer literally just got the back of the lorry, the tailgate, just literally got the parcel, went bosh, and it made an almighty bang. And I said, well, you must have damaged that. We took it apart and there's a great big dent in it. That's the kind of thing, especially some of these big items, they weigh a ton, and they're not going to start lifting them up all gently. It's just really throwing them about and whatever. And if on the back of a lorry, sometimes they just get dropped off. Forget the tailgate lift bobbing up and down, just sling them off, that's quicker. So bear that in mind. You may think I'm exaggerating, but honestly, I bought so many speakers that's been sent to me through the post, and so many, it's embarrassing, and I feel like, you know, eBay are going to say to me, you're going to have to stop buying stuff, Michael, because you're sending everything back. But it's just the way it is. They're getting dents in the corners, dents here, dents there, and you know, the other person obviously ain't packed it right or not thought about it. And I've said to them, I don't want it, you know what I mean? It's no good to be, I can't resell it. And if I resold it, I'm only going to sell the drivers, so I'm going to take a little bit more of a hit on it. So some of them have been all right. They've said, oh, I'll give you a little bit off. And if I think that's going to work out for me, okay, I've accepted it. But on quite a few occasions, I've had to lug it back to the post office. And when I say lug it, and I'm going really long-winded with this video, me and my mate literally rolled a pair of speakers down to the post office. They weighed an absolute ton. We put them back in the box and everything. I couldn't lift it. The post office was too far away for us both to literally pick it up. Wouldn't fit in the car. And we literally rolled it like a ball, boom, 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 back to the post office. And we got down there, true story, and the bloke said, it's too heavy. We don't accept this as a return through eBay because of the weight. I think it was about 30, 35 kilos, something like that. And he said, we don't accept this. So lucky enough, it's my regular post office. And I said to him, can you turn a blind eye? And that got it on its way. So if it weren't for that, we'd have had to roll it all the way back, and we was knackered just rolling it there. So yeah, I've gone off topic there quite a bit, but yeah, just make sure if you're sending these big wrapping. So what I said, you know, literally bubble wrap quite a lot, and not that little thin bubble wrap with the little bubbles. They're a waste of time. Get the thick bubble wrap, the big bubble wrap, and that's going to pad it right the way out. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be quite a big box just to put two of these in. So you can imagine how big these boxes are suddenly getting for other items. So just bear that in mind. If you're selling stuff, wrap it up properly, or you know, expect to get it back. Now if you're buying it through the post, also, like, you know, hopefully you're going to get it in one piece. But people say these speakers all work, they're lovely, you know, sounding excellent. I mean, I've not come across an advert on eBay or anywhere where there's geezers, you know, someone who's selling it, a bloke, whoever it is selling and said these speakers sound crap. You know what I mean? All of them sound fantastic. It's unbelievable, and it's unbelievable. All of them sound fantastic. Really lovely sounding speakers. So that's most of the time, or some of the time, I say most, some of the time the tweet won't even work. You know, as long as the sound's coming out of this box, they think it's working. So make sure you test the tweeters and drivers when you get them. Quite easy with the tweeter, really. Turn the treble up and literally just put your hand over it, and you should hear a difference when you remove your hand. So that's pretty straightforward. And obviously you've got to hear the bass coming out of the bass. You don't get much bass out of that tweeter, that's for certain, if the bass unit's gone. But another thing to bear in mind is that these drivers, you know, when you push them backwards and forwards like that, if they start making a kind of scratchy noise, they've obviously gone, kind of thing. So even the person selling it may think sound's coming out of it, not realising somebody's driver's actually scratching, the coal's actually scratching inside. So it's a lot of things to take into consideration. Now I'm going to just tell you my personal experiences with these here now. Like I say, these ones, you're not going to get much of a bargain pick up because people are willing to post these, but they're not that expensive anyway. They're not a sought after speaker. They're not going to fetch any major money anyway. Like I say, this is a budget channel, so there's no major money involved here, that's for certain. So we're going to go on to these here. These Monitor Audio Bronze B2. This is just the B2 bronze, not the BR. A lady sold me these on eBay. This was pick up only. Now these could have been posted. There's a possibility of them being posted. A lot of people do post them. Some people send it out as one parcel and charge you maybe £20, £10 a parcel, or they box them up together. But then again, like I say, plenty of wrapping around there. Make sure if you are sending them off, you put plenty of wrapping on them, because they're going to get chucked about no end. Yeah, so I picked this up from a lady who looks like her husband died or her dad died, something like that in the family, because they had a few bits of stereo for sale there. And this was pick up, and she actually put them up a few times and started bringing the price down because no one was willing to go and pick them up. She was only doing pick up, and the final price, as you can see there, I paid £35 for them recently, so that was all right. And they're in really good condition. Some slight dust and that on the cover, but hardly anything at all. They're in really nice condition. A very slight niggly mark maybe just there, not niggly, just a little niggle there, should I say. It's nothing major, but that, other than that, they're in really good condition. So for £5, I mean, people are probably willing to pay £100 somewhere around there through the post. So there is that much of a difference. It wasn't that far away, so that was great. And obviously the lady said they work, but it's no guarantee. I've had to take it on a bit of like, you know, it's not a thing I'm going to go back to her husband or dad's just died and said, oh, you sold me them speakers and they didn't work, or one of the drivers didn't work. I want my money back. It's a bit embarrassing really, not the kind of thing I'd do anyway, but maybe some other people will. But so got to take that into consideration a little bit. Maybe you're going to have to buy a driver and that, and they won't be that cheap if you've got stuck with a driver. But maybe a little bit of a gamble there, a bit of a gamble. Pretty much so with this speaker here. Now this is a Kef, what is this? A Kef Concord. The lady said this was her dad's. She actually mentioned it in the advert. Had it up previously at a higher price and put it up for £75, and I thought, you know, it wasn't that far away really, but I wasn't too sure if I wanted it, to be honest with you. I wasn't too sure what condition it was going to be because there's only 2 pictures with the grills on. Couldn't really see a lot, to be honest with you, so I took a bit of it. It came with a pair of stands as well. Took a bit of a chance. Offered her £50. I said, well, 75 is a bit much. I may have to buy some bits and pieces for it, so I'll go to 50, thinking that worst ways I could probably sell a driver or something if it didn't work and get some of my money back. So a little bit more of a gamble again, but and they weren't in great condition. I've got a video of me just doing these up. I say doing them up, a bit blasé really. Not much effort gone into it, but I did sand them down and end up putting some vegetable oil, wife's idea. Don't go into it, but anyway, it didn't come out too bad as it happens, not too bad as it happens, so I've just got to finish them off now. But if you look on eBay, recently a pair sold in nice condition for £399, so bit of a bargain there. But saying that, I did have a tweeter. I say a tweeter, it's the kind of, it does the mid range as well. One of these units go. It wasn't working when I bought it, sorry, not go, it wasn't working when I bought it, so I had to get a replacement one of them, which was £20, so now they've cost me £70. And when I did that, I actually got a black one because I was reading about that these T15 drivers, the silver ones, a little bit more harsher. These are just a little bit more smoother, the black one, and I thought I'd get a black one just to try and smooth it out just a little bit. So I'm going to be toying around in between the two because I've actually bought another one of these as well. So I've got 2 black and 2 silver drivers. So I've spent a little bit more money than I wanted to probably on these, but don't forget, I can, the ones I'm not using I can resell again, and these were £20 each including postage. So I spent a little bit extra, but once I've got how I want them or whatever, or the ones I want to keep, I'm going to resell these drivers back on. Now, talking about selling drivers, that's going to bring me nicely into what I'm saying. So if you buy one of these speakers and you do get stuck, I think what you've got to look out for is how much you can get back if you just sold it as parts. If that kind of person who's going to, you know, willing to take these units out, put them in a box and send them off to someone else. A little bit of a drawback sometimes with that is that someone can turn around and say, you sold them this, it's working perfectly, your end. It gets down the other end, they say it don't work. It's a little bit naughty of them because you know full well it is, and they probably just swapped it out for their one that didn't work. I'm not saying everyone does it, but it's like anything else, there is a possibility of anything electrical gets down the other end, so all of a sudden it don't work, even though it does. So yeah, just bear that in mind anyway, but I always look at it that if I can only sell a couple of the drivers, a couple of them are not working, and I'm not willing to spend too much more money on it, that I'm going to get my money back with the drivers. So in this case, this, what is it? I can't remember what it's called now, driver here, this bass driver here, they go for about £30 each, something like that on eBay. So the initial £50 I spent, got a pair of stands as well, and them stands have got to be worth £10 or £15, and not in great condition, they need a little bit of a spray, but it's a counterbalance kind of thing. So I should get most of my money, if not all my money back, just selling these 2 bass drivers. And if both tweeters were working, both the mid-range tweeters were working, then obviously I'm going to get extra for them as well. But in my case, it didn't work out. But even so, what I've spent on them and you know, end result, not a bad buy really from my initial £50, including the stands. But I've had to buy some extra bits. I'm going to go over to this speaker here, Dynaco A35. The bloke originally sold these to a bloke in America. He actually was willing to post them off. The bloke bought them for more than what I actually paid for them. He's getting ready to pass them up and realised these weighed quite a bit, not as heavy as these, weighed quite a bit, going to take quite a bit of passing, going to be 2 boxes. In the end he thought this is too much hassle and put them up as a bid up now. These would buy it now, like I say, 35. These would buy it now at 75, got down to 50. These were bid up from £25. He's doing a bid up. Didn't know a lot about them, to be honest with you. Didn't know what this bloke was into or anything like that. You know, maybe I didn't know what I was getting into really. So £25. I thought, what's the maximum I want to pay? I didn't really know. So I just put £30 in. You know, I mean, if I don't get them, bound to be some other speakers or something else. But anyway, got them for the £25 bid, and went and picked them up. And when I went round there, I realised that the person I bought them off of did know quite a bit about hi-fi. He had some really high-end tannoys around there. And quite a few, they're having a chat actually, quite interesting, because when you go around and pick these things up, sometimes you bump into someone that knows quite a bit more than you, or got some more expensive equipment than you and all that kind of stuff, so you can get chatting. But yeah, he's had some tannoys, and he was telling me that last year he bought untold speakers, and how hard it is to resell them on eBay, collection only. And this is true. If you've got a pair of speakers not unless it's something someone's really after, like it's a current thing, it's got that reputation behind it, that kind of thing. You're going to struggle. You could have a pair of speakers £400 and you could be literally struggling to get £50 local pickup. You really could. So that's how it is. So maybe bear that in mind when you're buying a pair of speakers, that if you're thinking you're going to buy a pair and it may not be your taste, may not be your thing, you're taking a bit of a gamble to start off with, you're paying top dollar for them, is when you come to sell them, who you're going to sell them on to. Are you willing to post them? That's obviously going to bump up the price. Don't forget a lot of packing, but if you're going to do a collection only, like a lot of people do with these heavier speakers, you're going to take a massive hit. I mean, he had some Tannoys there for £1,400 he wanted, and he said that it took quite a hit on them and still couldn't sell them. So yeah, not easy at all selling big speakers that not many people are after, a bit niche, shall we say. Maybe someone right down the other end of the country and they're not going to come too far to get it. So anyway, got these for £25. And as that happens, like, everything was working fine. I mean, this bloke had quite a few speakers, and he said for the money, these are probably the best sounding speakers he's bought at such a low price, because he didn't pay a lot for them himself. So yeah, and I'm pretty pleased with them. I will do a full review of them coming up shortly. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with them. The only thing with these is that obviously the grills and that can be a little bit dirty, so you may need to take that off, give it a wash, or even re-grill it, something like that. So maybe just a little bit more of expense, but still quite a bargain. I should imagine if that was on eBay now, this pair of speakers, it's going to be £200 a pair, maybe a little bit more, something like that. It'll be about £200 if you're willing to post them. But again, if I did come to sell them, which I'm not, these are staying here definitely, is that I'll be lucky maybe to get £30 or £40 from it. It's just the way it is, pick up only. It's very hard. So what this video is really saying that if you're really willing to go and pick stuff up locally, or even have a distance, if you're willing to drive 100 miles, I think it's going to take you 2 or 3 hours to get there, 2 or 3 hours back, but that pair of speakers that normally sell for £400, I'm going to pick up for £50. I'm going to put £50 juice in or something like that. That's fantastic. And obviously if you get a chance to hear around that person's house, which this bloke was willing to demonstrate, but I wasn't really that much interested, because I thought to myself, if it don't work, I'm going to get my money back on the drivers. I did look the drivers up just after I bought them, actually. That's why I wasn't too worried too much about if they worked or not, because just these 2 drivers alone, I could probably, if I'm willing to send off to America or something like that, these go for in America for about $100 for the drivers. So I've got 2 lots, so it's $200 just for the drivers. So I'm in safe ground. It's not too much to worry about if they don't work. But obviously if these drivers, if this speaker was £200 and they're only worth 200, I probably would have stayed round and had a little listen. And I wish I did now, because he had a load of other stuff there which definitely would have been good listening to. That's just okay. And like I say, once again, if you are sending any of this stuff off, make sure you really wrap it up well. And if you are selling it on eBay and you think you're going to do a bid up, don't start it too low, because you think I'll start it low and get people's interest, but quite often that maybe say you're starting off at £20, that would be the only bid, so you're only going to get £20, where you think, oh, make it £100, start it low, get people interested, it may go up to £100. It don't always happen like that. You may just have that one person interested and you're numbered, because he did sound a little bit annoyed. Well, not annoyed, he kind of thought, oh, you've bought them, you've kind of won them, but I did want a bit more from them than what you paid, kind of thing. That's the impression I got anyway. But yeah, great, these are really good. I'm really pleased with them. I'm pleased with all the speakers really I bought here, but that's it. Enough waffling.